Hey everyone, good evening. So today we're going to be doing some TEAS 7 practice test questions. We're officially starting in 1 minute and we're just going to wait for everyone to just come on in here. So for tonight, we're going to be doing practice test questions that are very similar to the real test. We're going to go over why correct and incorrect. Hi everyone, hi Fadi, hi Spice, hi Natasha. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over questions from the reading, math, science, and ELU, and we're going to just go through them one by one, exactly like you would on the real test. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock for me. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds, and we're going to get going. Let me know in the comments when you guys are taking your TEAS. Hi, OSnap. Hi, Shell. Okay. On 1:30. Next Tuesday. Hi, Cherry. Are you feeling good about taking it next Tuesday? 1:30. Okay, so we've got a few people here that are taking it in about 2 weeks. So you have enough time to get yourself ready. You're a little scared? Okay, that's totally normal. And the way that this is going to go, you guys, is if you have any questions in general about the TEAS test, about what the test is like, study tips, anything like that, just throw them in the comments. And while you guys are working on the practice test questions, I'll go in and answer them. You take yours next week. Well, Indica, I know that you have been following our TikTok for a while, and I know that you are always throwing your answer down in the comments. So I know that you are ready. Yvette is also taking it in 2 weeks. You're super scared. Yvette, what makes you super scared? The science part is very hard for me to understand. You know, the science we're going to get started here on the first question here in just a second. But before we do that, I just want to say about the science section, it's so normal because half of it is A and P, right? You've got 18 scored anatomy questions, and then the rest of it is chemistry, scientific reasoning, and biology. So there's just a lot of stuff. Just take it one thing at a time. Thank you for the acknowledgement, Indica. You're so welcome. The reading comprehension is hard for me. Reading comprehension is tricky, and then the first question we're going to actually do here, we're going to start right now, is we're going to take a reading question together. Okay, guys, forgive me. I am going to read the questions because I do see here that we're a little cropped off. Okay, forgive me. I'm not perfect. And it's totally normal for the reading section to be difficult for you, but I want to motivate you to just keep practicing your reading comprehension skills. It just takes practice, and it's going to benefit you on all 4 sections, so don't give up. Taffy says yes, math is, I know, zoom it out. I know, I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. I got this thing from Office Depot, and I thought it was going to be tall enough for you guys, but I promise we're going to make it work. Okay. So the first question is from the reading section. It says, which statement is an opinion? We have freshman Anita Jones states the most excessive homework requirements cause her undue stress. Then we've got students reported symptoms such as headaches, anxiety attacks, and difficulty sleeping. C, excessive homework requirements cause students undue stress and harm their quality of life. And then D, turn it sideways. Okay, hold on. You guys are all telling me to turn it sideways. Forgive me here. So let's try turning it sideways and let me know if you guys can still see it. Okay, like this. Let me know in the comments. Should I turn it like this? The paper. Let me know in the comments. Did this work for you guys? Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's start this over. Which statement is an opinion? A, freshman Anita Jones states that excessive homework requirements cause her undue stress. B, students reported symptoms such as headaches, anxiety attacks, and difficulty sleeping. C, excessive homework requirements cause students undue stress and harm their quality of life. Or D, students who do homework more than 3 hours per day show elevated cortisol levels compared to students who do no homework. Thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate you. So let me know what you believe the correct answer is. Which statement is an opinion? Okay, I see C in the comments. I see A in the comments. I think it's C. I think it's C. We got some D's in there, got some C's, got some A's. You know what? Everyone is always talking about math in the science section, but I personally think reading is the trickiest one, and this question's a good example of that. I see some C's, I see some A's, see some C's. Okay. All right, so for those of you who have said that the correct answer is C, you are correct. So C is an opinion. So excessive homework requirements causes students undue stress is an opinion, because when you have words like excessive and you have words like harm their quality of life, you're welcome for doing this live. All of those they're very loaded, right? So it's a loaded word, and basically what makes this statement out of all of the statements an opinion is because it makes a subjective claim, right? So it is claiming that it causes students undue stress, and it is claiming that it is causing them harm to their quality of life. And what makes this an opinion and not a fact is because you really cannot objectively measure this to be true. How can this possibly be true for every student that does excessive homework? What does excessive homework even mean? So that is why C is the correct answer here, and why C is an opinion. All of these other things here are things that we are able to go back and verify. So one of the things I want to leave you with this particular question before we move on to our math question is, when you are doing your TEAS reading test, I want you to always double read your question, because that is where they're going to absolutely positively trip you up. I always want you to read the question twice. A lot of people say, well, how long are the passages? And I'm so confused and they're boring. I don't care about any of that. I always want you to read the question twice. Most of the time when you get a reading question wrong on the TEAS, it's because you read the question wrong and they tricked you. Okay? I always want you to also look out for subjective language, okay? Because if it sounds judgmental, it's probably an opinion. And then ask yourself when you're reading a question like this, is this debatable? So for example, with option A, we're talking about freshman Anita Jones. Is it debatable that it causes her undue stress? Well, we can go back and we can ask her, okay? When we talk about things like elevated cortisol levels, that's something that we can measure with a scientific tool, okay? So ask yourself, is it debatable? And is it basically a loaded question? All right, so awesome job, guys. We're gonna move on to our second question for today, which is a math question. Okay. So Megan served. Where are we getting these questions from? Great question. So these are actually from the T7 online course from the Smart Edition Academy website. So for those of you who don't like studying from a book, or you feel like you're super lost and you don't know where to start, the Smart Edition Academy TEAS online course basically has everything you need to study in one place. There's 8 practice tests, as well as lessons and videos and flashcards, and all of the content is very easy to consume, and it's a very easy study system. We also have a pass guarantee. Is it accurate to the actual test? Sophia, that's a great question. So, I'm not good with percents. Okay, Kiki, well, we're going to work this out together. Don't you worry. Sophia, is it accurate to the actual test? So yes, so we write these questions to be very realistic in what the test is going to ask you. These questions are based off the same exact topics that you're going to see on your upcoming TEAS exam. The practice tests are timed, so everything really mimics the same experience. And we also make sure that our practice tests have the same ratio of questions, just so that way when you get your test results, you really have a clear way of understanding what all you need to study. All right, so let's get into this practice test question. And this is a percent, which Kiki's already said that she doesn't like. So On the math section, guys, you should expect to see word problems just like this, percents. You should expect ratios, proportions, one-step algebra, all of those things. Okay. So I see a lot of people already throwing in their answers. C. Okay, I'm going to give it a few more minutes here. Kiki, I want to see you put your answer down in the comments. How is it C? Okay, well, we're going to talk about what answer is correct and why. Fadi also says C. Simone says B. Hey, Gabby, thanks for joining us. We're doing some TEAS practice test questions. Right now we're working on a math question, and the next thing we're going to be working on is a science question. Can I explain it, please? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so for those of you who are tuning in and dropped your answer, is there a calculator when you take the test? Yes, there is a 4-function calculator that you will have access to on your screen when you take the test. So for those of you who threw in the answer choice C, 75, that is correct. So in order to solve this problem, Kiki, you need to calculate the total bill, which is going to be based on the amount and the percentage, okay, the tip amount. So what they gave you here is they're giving you the percentage tip, okay, which is the 22%. So we know she had a 22% tip, and we know that that amounted to $16.50, okay? So there's a few different ways that we can solve this issue, this problem. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to solve, and we want to set up the equation, okay? So we're trying to figure out the bill. So I'm going to write sideways, and I want you guys to confirm that you guys can read my handwriting well, okay? I'm going to step over here to the side. So we know we have our tip, okay? And then we want to figure out the bill. That's basically the variable here. And we know our tip percentage, okay? Can y'all read that? Okay. So we know that the tip is $16.50. We're trying to figure out the bill, and we know that it was a 22% tip. Okay? Yes, perfect. So good. Okay. So we know that it was a 22% tip, but what we actually need to do is we actually need to convert this into a decimal, Kiki. So the way that we would do that is 22% turns into decimal 22. And if you do 0.22 times 100, you're going to get 22%, okay? So a 22% tip turns into 0.22, okay? Now we need to solve for this bill, right? Because this is basically like a one-step algebra problem. So we need to get the bill. We can pretend that this is variable X. We need to get bill by itself, all right? So if we are multiplying here, we know that we actually need to divide in order to get the bill alone, right? So what we'll do is we'll turn bill into tip over the percentage, okay? And what that'll do, I'm gonna move it on up here. We've got bill equals 16.50, divide that by 0.22. And what you'll do, and when you're using your 4-function calculator, all you've got to do is enter in 16.50, divide that by 0.22, and you're gonna get the answer 75. Perfect. 0.22, exactly. That is exactly how you would calculate that. Okay. Now everyone's favorite, we're going to move on to a, thank you, I understand it now. Oh, yay, I'm so glad. And Kiki, if you need more help, we have a ton of practice test questions over on our TikTok. And if you need more help on word problems like this, conversions, decimals, ratios, proportions, algebra, all of that fun stuff that you're going to see on your upcoming TEAS exam, definitely consider getting the T7 online course. We are doing it 30% off of your first month. Okay. So let's go to science. Everyone's can we do reading? Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take turns. We're going to do one question from each section and then keep rotating. So the first question that we did was reading, and now we're going to do some science. Where do I get the course from? Is there a discount from it? Yes, so you can get the online course, smarteditionacademy.com, and you can use code TT30 at checkout. That's going to get you 30% off. You get 8 practice test questions, you get 100 video lessons, you get everything that you need to study for reading, math, science, and English. It also comes with a mobile app and flashcards. What platform will we move to? Because I heard TikTok is getting banned. So we're going to move on. We do have a Facebook study group that we have about 25,000 members in there sharing tips and tricks. So we're going to start going live in our Facebook group as well as over on our YouTube channel. If you look up Smart Edition Nursing on YouTube, we have hundreds of videos on everything you need to know for the TEAS. I've only done the free version. Should I do the other one? Yeah, you should, because the other version is going to have way more practice tests. There's going to have flashcards. You're going to be able to unlock the mobile app, and you're going to be able to unlock all of the lessons for everything that you need to study for the test. And if you use the paid version, you have a pass guarantee. We guarantee that the course will help you pass. Michelle says, characteristics controlled by more than one gene, both parents. TT30 is the discount code. Yes, for 30% off. Okay, so let's do the science practice test question together. And as you're going to see here, this is not directly for an A and P question. A lot of people, as we mentioned earlier in the call, a lot of people think that the science section is only about A and P. And while A and P is a big component to it, you're going to see 18 scored questions on A and P. You might have more than 18 questions, but only 18 of those will be scored on A and P. You actually will see a lot of questions on chemistry, biology, and scientific reasoning. So, which of the following is an example of a polygenetic trait? ABO blood type, flower color in snapdragons, skin color in humans, or eye color in fruit flies? Okay, Miguel says C. Blue Bonnet says B. Can you give the YouTube and Facebook where I can see the live videos? Yes, Raquel. So if you go to our link in bio, our Facebook study group should be linked there for you to access. And if you just head on over to YouTube, you just enter in the search bar, Smart Edition Nursing, you will see all of our TEAS videos there. We have playlists for every single one of the subject. A lot of the videos are over an hour long and they're very specific. For example, we have a video all about word problems. We have a video all about conversions and etc. What does the Taffy says C? I'm not sure. Love that emoji face. Nisha, what does the course include? It includes 8 practice tests, a mobile app, study lessons. So the study lessons, each of them have a very simple to read text, flashcards, a practice question bank, and also video. So for example, when you take the practice test and it says, hey, you need to study more genetics and DNA, that lesson is going to have notes, a lesson, videos, and then you can continue to study by answering only questions about genetics and DNA. And all of the practice test questions actually have a video explanation, so you can really hone in and get very specific and intentional with your studying. Miguel says, mom plus dad, baby got the color. From whom more? I love that. Okay, so yes, the answer is C, skin color in humans, okay? And this is because, as Miguel really simply put it for us down in the comments, it's because it is influenced by multiple genes working together, resulting in a range of variations, okay? Perfect. A gene from both parents. Exactly. So a polygenetic trait basically means a characteristic that's influenced by 2 or more genes. And this can basically result in anything that has a wide range of variations, such as skin color, your eye color, your height, etc. Where will the lives move to? To our Facebook group and over on our YouTube channel. So Smart Addition Nursing YouTube channel. All right, guys, we're going to move into an English practice test question, and then we're going to go back to reading and math and do it all over again. Oh, ELU. Which of the following movie titles contains a pronoun? Is it A, Rear Window, B, North by Northwest, C, The Trouble with Harry, or The Man Who Knew Too Much? Okay, Edna says D, Reese says D, Christina says C, Mimi says D, Holly says D. D, B's, D's, C's, okay. We've got the whole alphabet in the comments. Perfect. And a lot of you guys are asking about our YouTube channel. So over on our YouTube channel, we have a ton of videos specifically about the ELU section, how to study for the ELU section in 6 weeks, as well as common mistakes, tips, and tricks that students make on the ELU. So if you've had to retake your TEAS exam and you didn't score too well on the ELU section, those videos are going to be extremely beneficial to you. Teresa, C or D. I love that. You know, on the real test, you can only pick one. All right. So Indica, you are right. I know you're taking your test next week and you are super prepared. The correct answer is in fact D. It is the man who knew too much. So just as a reminder, as a refresher for the people that put in A, B, or C, a pronoun is basically a word that replaces or refers to another noun, or to a noun, I should say. And a noun, yes, you are on a roll tonight. A noun is basically a person, place, or thing. So if we look at the first question, or the first answer selection, we've got rear window. There's no pronouns in this. North by Northwest, we're not talking about a person, place, or thing. So nothing is replacing a noun here. Yes, who is the pronouns? Like he, shim, him, her. Yes, exactly. The Trouble with Harry. So Harry, I could see why a lot of people picked C. So while Harry is a person, which does make him a type of noun, when you are talking about someone specifically, that becomes a proper noun. So Harry is a proper noun, Kim Kardashian is a proper noun, etc. because you are talking about a specific person. Lucky. Miguel says, I'm lucky today. No, I think you need to give yourself more credit, Miguel. You're doing great. You're 4 for 4 here. And so before we move on to the next question, a lot of the common pronouns that people know are they, him, her, she. And I just wanted to throw it out there for any of you that are taking notes. Other really common pronouns that you're going to find on your TEAS test, because they're not going to give you the easy pronouns and ask you to identify them in a question. They're going to give you the kind of complicated ones. So the most common pronouns that you're going to see, and if you go over into our T7 online course, we have a lesson all about pronouns, and we list all of the common ones and all of the different types, and we have tons of practice test questions on these. But the most common ones are I, you, he, she, it, we, they, me, they, him, her, us, them, my, and what are the other two? Your, and their. Okay, so those are the most common ones. And like I said, on the TEAS exam, they're not going to give you she and he. They're going to give you one of those other ones that you may not be super sure about. You just joined. Why is it D? Okay, great question. So we went over that a pronoun basically replaces a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. So if we look at option A, we're not talking about a person, place, or thing. B, we're not talking about a person, place, or thing. The Trouble with Harry. Harry is a person, but this is called a proper noun. because Harry is a specific person. So when we talk about the man who knew too much, that would be the pronoun there is actually going to be who. The word who is a pronoun that is talking about the man. Okay. All right. Now we are back to everyone's favorite reading. You're welcome. It's my pleasure, Guadalupe. Thanks for joining us. So which of the following is an example of an expository writing? Does Smart Edition have a free practice test I can take? Yes. If you go to smarteditionacademy.com, you'll see on the website there's a button that says free practice test, and you can drop down and click the TEAS practice test. You can actually take it using the mobile app, or you can take it from the website. We're going to talk about what is expository. So that is a great question. So go ahead, throw your answer down in the comments. Which of the following is an example of expository writing? Okay, I see the alphabet again. I see some B's, I see some D's, I see some C's, more B's. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Tiffany. B's, B's, D's, B's. Okay, it sounds like we're down to about 2 answer options. Rhonda says B. Indica says B. Taffy says D. Okay, the correct answer here is B. So Indica, you're going to do great next week. Fireworks, yes. Okay. So the correct answer is B, history book, and that's because expository writing, remember what I said in the beginning of this live, is we always want to make sure that we read the question twice, because we have to get extremely clear on what the question is asking us, okay? Like I said, don't get caught up in how long a passage is. You're not going to be able to answer a question correctly if you're not clear on what the question is asking you, okay? So we're talking about expository writing. B is correct because expository writing aims to explain or to inform the reader about a particular subject. And they do so by using facts, data, and objective details, okay? Hi, darling. Do you have another platform as TikTok is banned? Yes. So, and I'm going to answer your question in just a second. Kiki, I see you. We're going to talk about answer D, autobiography, in just a second. So we do have a Facebook study group. We also have a YouTube channel, Smart Edition Nursing, and then we also have a website, smarteditionacademy.com. So we plan on carrying over our lives onto those other platforms. Okay. So I want to talk about D because in the comments, a lot of people were saying B or D, and I completely understand why you would have chosen D. So an autobiography, right? So when we look at the word auto, we're talking about ourself, right? So when you have an autobiography, it's a biography that somebody wrote about themselves, okay? And so because it's something that you are writing about yourself, not another person writing it about another person, that would actually make this a narrative writing because it's basically a personal story told by the author. And expository writing is about explaining and providing info without necessarily expressing personal opinions or emotions. So if I'm writing my own story, I'm going to be slightly biased versus if somebody else is writing my story based on research they did for me. So that's why D is incorrect. Okay, Michelle, I see your question here. Why is it not A? I thought expository, if its primary reason is to explain something in order. Okay, so yes, so the user manual is considered a expository writing because it does provide a set of instructions or explanations, but it is typically, like when you think about a user manual, it's typically a a guide or book or something like that written by a company, right? So it's more specific to guiding the user about how to use their product, how to set it up, versus somebody that is completely non-biased, that's completely removed, that has no basically personal investment, if that makes sense. So that is a great question. A would be technical, exactly. Exactly. Expository is more like academic writing. So when I want you guys to hear things like expository writing, I want you to think about something that you would use to cite. If you were to have to write a paper on something, you would want to look at resources that are written in an expository fashion. Okay? Okay, so I'm seeing some comments here about C, an op-ed article. So op-ed is basically an opinion. It's the opinionated editorial article. And so this makes this persuasive writing because it is a piece of writing that people write to express an opinion and tries to convey the reader. If you open up a newspaper and you go to the op-ed section, a lot of the times they will actually have two articles side by side talking about the same thing with very different and contrasting ideas. And you will absolutely see that on the TEAS exam. They will ask you to read both sides, both passages talking about the same topic, and they'll ask you to evaluate the author's idea. They're going to ask you which author has the strongest argument, which is not based on you agreeing with it, but based on the kind of argument they create based on things like supporting details, avoiding fallacies, and things like that. All right, guys, so we're going to move on into the next math question. All right. Welcome, Nelly. Thanks for joining us. Let us know in the comments when you're preparing for your TEAS exam. And just as a reminder, guys, everything that we're going over, all these practice test questions, they are from the Smart Edition Academy TEAS 7 online course. The online course has practice tests, flashcards, videos, video explanations for all of the practice test questions in the online course, in addition to study modules. So we basically took the idea of chapters in a book and we made it digital. Everything is in color. There's videos for every topic. All the videos are engaging. They include interactive practice test questions, so you can really learn the material in a fun way. And the fact that it also has an online course, it's really great for those people that just have 10, 15 minutes of time throughout the day. You can just go to your app and pick a topic and start studying. All right, and I see you threw down that math question super quick. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen somebody do the math so fast. Edna might actually be a calculator. Thanks, Beauty. Thanks for being here. Okay, guys, so while some of you are writing out the problem, I want to just make it a point to show you, obviously, if you can't already tell, this is actually a fill in the blank question. So on your TEAS exam, it is mostly going to be, like 95% of your test is going to be multiple choice questions. Please explain this one because I have no idea. Absolutely. So this is going to be a fill in the blank question. It's super important with the fill in the blank question. And a lot of people ask this over in our TEAS study group all the time. Does spelling matter? Yes, spelling matters. The test does not care if you intend on having the right question, right answer, the decimals, the capitalization, all that stuff. It matters. That's why you see here that there is very, very clear descriptions of how they want you to format the answer. In this case, they want you to do it to the nearest tenth, and they're telling you not to use a trailing zero. Okay, I see some 87s. I see some 86.3s. Any other answers? Anybody wants to drop down here? 86.25. Okay, we're getting really specific now. Okay. 86.3. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so now I see an 86.3, 86.3. Okay, yes, so the correct answer here is 86.3. is the correct answer. I'm just going to throw that here for anyone that joins us and catches me mid explaining this problem. Is this a problem that you guys want me to work out? Or are we clear on how we received this answer? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys need me to explain this answer? Yes, please. Okay. Yes, yes. Work it out. Okay. Explain. Yes, Margarita. Okay. So we want to find the overage, right? So we know that he has a 15% overage. He needs 75. And what I always like to do is I like to underline my numbers, because that way when you're taking a test like this with the TEAS, you have just over a minute to answer all the questions on the test, which I know is extremely stressful. So for me, I always recommend to just highlight or note down just so you don't get lost, because that is how you thought that was a typo. It wasn't a typo. I'm sorry. It is 86.3. So, okay. So we need to, how many square feet of tile does the homeowner need to purchase? Okay. So we know, so typically we've got our overage. Okay. We're basically just setting up our equation. And we've got 75 square feet of tile, okay? So we're going to put in 75 because we know at a minimum he needs that, okay? And so basically what we need to do, and this is how I'm setting up the equation, you guys. In order for me to calculate exactly how much I need to get clear on how much the overage is first, and then I need to add the overage to the 75 square feet, okay? Does that make sense? So the first thing I need to do, this is a part 2, and this is exactly what I'm talking about with the TEAS. So sometimes when we're just reading so quick, it's very easy to think, oh, okay, they want me to figure out how much is the 15%. When in reality, they want you to understand, they want you to get the total, okay? So that's why it's always important to read twice. So let's figure out our overage first, and then we can add the two of them together, okay? So we've got 75 times 15%, okay? And we know on our 4-function calculator on the TEAS, we know that we don't have a percentage button. So how do we turn 15%? Well, we just turn that into a decimal into our calculator, okay? Who wants to throw that 0.15? Exactly. You guys are so good. So now when you enter that into your calculator, 75 times 0.15, you are going to get 11.25, okay? So 11.25 is the overage. Now it's asking us how many square feet of tile does the homeowner need to purchase? So we need to do 75 because that's what he needs essentially for the business, for the project, plus 11.25, okay? So when we get 11.25, we're going to get 86.25, okay? That's what we receive when we add those two together. So I know what you're thinking. Well, that you said it was 86.25. How is the answer 86.3? Let's read the very specific instructions that they told us. They told us to fill in the blank and round the answer to the nearest tenth. Use a leading circle if it applies. So when we look at the 10th place, it's here. And that means we have to round up, okay? So that is how we get 86.3. We're using the 10th place, and because it's 5 and over, we round up. If this was a 4, we would round down, okay? But that's not the case here. So because this is 5, we round up, and that is how we receive the answer as 86.3, okay? 5 and above, give it a shove. Why did I add it to the 75? So the question is asking us how many square feet of tile does the homeowner need to purchase? So this was a tricky question and it was 2 parts. So for example, pretend this was you. If you had to go by backsplash and your contractor told you this, you wouldn't just go to the store and buy the overage. You would need to get your contractor the overage in addition to what you actually need to put in on your walls. The overage is just for oopsies in case they don't cut right. Okay, so that's why you have to calculate the overage first and then add it to basically the primary project. And that's how we got 86.3. Okay, you're so welcome. All right, guys, it's that time. We're back on science. We are back on science. All right. In which of the following states of matter do the particles of iron have the lowest amount of cohesion? Does the Smart Edition have a book available, or is it just the online course? Yes, we do have a printed book. You can buy it off of Amazon. You can also buy it off of the website. So if you prefer studying out of a book and highlighting and all that good stuff, you can purchase it on our website, smarteditionacademy.com. The online course is really for those people that really love studying on the go, or they just need to study on the go, or people that really are visual learners and want to see things in color as well as with videos. And like I said, guys, you can check out the book or the online course, and you can actually get 30% off using code TT30 when you go to checkout at smarteditionacademy.com. Is the TEAS the same as the HESI? I have to take the HESI A2. So they're similar. One of the primary differences between the TEAS is that there's 4 sections. You've got your math, your reading, your science, your ELU. The HESI is a little bit different in the way that there's an A&P section, there is a biology section, there's a chemistry section, a grammar section, a vocabulary section. So it's just a little bit more granular. However, we see it in our HESI study group that a lot of students will typically only have to take just a handful of those sections. So a lot of people say, well, because it's very specific, it's actually a little easier to study for. Do LPNs and RNs have to take the same TEAS? Yes, the ATI TEAS version 7 is the current version, and it is the same no matter what kind of program you are applying to. And so I'm not seeing too many answers here down in the comments. You guys are avoiding this chemistry question. And remember, there are 8 scored chemistry questions on your TEAS science section. You've got 18 A&P, 9 biology, 8 scientific reasoning, and then you've got 8 chemistry questions, okay? All right, there you go. You guys woke up. Rosa says C. Fadi says C. Miguel says A. Cece says A. Cece, I've never seen anyone spell it like that before. Nelly says C. Can I please repeat that? What part? About how many questions on the science section? Is that what you're talking about? Can you please repeat the breakdown of questions? Yes. So on the science section, let me put it here. You're going to have, this is scored questions, okay? Because a lot of people over in our study group, they'll be like, there was way more chemistry questions than you guys said. No, that's not true. Maybe there was, but when we talk about the scored breakdown, we're talking about questions that are actually scored towards your final score. On every single section of the TEAS, they're going to throw in a handful of unscored questions. And no, you will not know which ones are scored or not. So you've got, on the science section, you've got 18 scored A&P. Okay. You've got 8 scientific reasoning. So that's things like designing an experiment, inductive reasoning, all that good stuff. Scientific tools, conversions. Yes, you're also going to see conversions, maybe only like 1 or 2 on the science section. You will not be able to escape it. Then you've got 9 biology. And then you've got 8 chemistry. So if you need a refresher on A&P, scientific reasoning, biology, or chemistry, the T7 online course is going to teach you everything you need to know from how to calculate molarity, to chemical solutions, to ionic bonds, and everything in between. Why do they put in scored and unscored question? This is the first time I'm hearing that. I don't really know why they do it, to be honest with you, but it is something that's actually stated on their website. There are a handful of unscored questions. All right, guys, so let's go over this science question. The correct answer here, and I saw a lot of people put it down, and you know, if you've been following along with me since 6 o'clock, you're going to know that I'm going to tell you, always make sure that you're extremely clear on what the answer is, what the question is asking you, because I saw a lot of people put A, and that's because the question tricked you. The correct answer, it's actually C. C is the correct answer here. The question is asking, have the lowest amount of cohesion, okay? So let's do a quick breakdown of what cohesion is. So cohesion, okay, this word here, refers to how strongly the particles of a substance are attracted to one another, okay? So the more cohesive the particles, the more they stick together, okay? So think about a piece of furniture, right? Everything is cohesive, it's together, it's not going anywhere, okay? So when you are talking about a solid iron, the particles are packed together and they're strongly attached to each other. So what does that mean? That means they have a high level of cohesion, okay? But with number C, gaseous iron particles have the lowest amount of cohesion. In a gaseous iron, the particles are actually spread out and they move freely, right? Think about gas. In a lot of cases, you can't see gas, and that's because it's there, but all the particles are spread out, and that's because they're moving freely and there's just very little attraction to each other. So that's why C is the correct answer, because in a gaseous iron, the cohesion is the lowest in that gas state, okay? All right, so you want to make sure that when you're studying for the TEAS, that you have a very clear understanding of the states of matter, the properties of matter. That's really your foundation to everything that you're also going to need to know for the chemistry component. But a lot of people just jump right on into the complicated stuff and they forget to study the basics. So this question is a very good example of that, okay? So if you need a refresher on all of these topics, don't forget you can get the T7 online course at smartadditionacademy.com, and you can use code TT30 for 30% off. All right, now we're going to move on to an English question. So which term refers to the feelings of a text? Which term refers to the feelings a text creates in the reader? Is it tone, irony, mood, or theme? Okay, Jessica says A. Kaya says C. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of C's, here. C, 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 D. Sarah says C. Miguel says C. Perfect. I see 8 C's. That's pretty cool. TikTok tells you how many people are saying C. That's crazy. TikTok's just doing the most. All right, 15. Whoa, you guys are dropping it and the number's going up. Okay, so for the 17 people that have said the answer choice C, mood, that's correct. And so for anybody, I saw a few A's come through here, and I can understand why you would choose A. Tone, mood, theme. These things are very similar, and you really have to know. Sarah says, yay. Yay, Sarah. I'm excited for you. I love seeing you guys get all these answers right. That means you guys are ready for this test. And so just really quickly, before we move on to the next question, which will be a reading question, just mood refers to the feelings, which is what this question was asking about, or the emotion that a text makes us feel. So basically think about the mood is like AKA the vibe, right? Like what is the mood or the vibe that you feel when you're reading the passage, okay? I take my entrance exam on Saturday, but it's not the TEAS. Are you taking the HESI or the Kaplan? What test are you taking, Mia? How would I describe tone? So tone is more like the attitude, right? So I would say that the tone is like the attitude that the writer has towards the subject or the audience. It's really how they feel and how they convey, right? So think about it. When you're writing an email or you're sending a text to somebody, depending on how you feel in that moment, you can say the same thing, but it can read very different based on just how you're using your punctuation, the kind of words you're using. It's very intentional. So I want you to think about tone is like your texting, okay? Your attitude when you have to say something to someone, when you read something and you're like, oh, I don't know, they kind of had a little attitude when they wrote this to me. That is the tone, okay? All right. And if you guys need a refresher on anything that we're going over for reading, math, science, English section, the T7 online course is going to guarantee to help you pass. The online course has everything you need from practice test to a mobile app, to videos, to lessons. We have a study group. It's very interactive. And we make studying for the TEAS super, super easy. And all you have to do is log into one place. You don't have to go searching all the books and all the channels. It's just super easy and we're guaranteed to help you pass. Okay, what is the price point? So you get 30% off at checkout when you use code TT30. The 1 month is $34.99, so just under $35, and that comes with unlimited practice test retakes, all of the lessons, all of the flashcards, the mobile app, everything. If you decide that you want to get the 3-month package, it's basically buy 2 months, get one free. And then you can bundle that and get an extra 30% off. So that is the most banging offer we have. Yes, test prep is so expensive, and that's why we choose to make ours affordable. We want to make it easy, fun, and just simple, okay? And we know that inflation out here is real. Everyone wants to just get into their program, and there's no point in spending $200-300, okay? The information's out there. Everyone's basically teaching the same thing. We just have a system and a structure that makes it easy. Okay. All right, guys. I only see a few answers here. D, wait, how much again? For 1 month, it's $34.99, so let's round that up to $35, and then you can use code TT30 at checkout to get 30% off. And that's the full online course, the flashcards, the mobile app, in addition to the 8 practice tests. D. Okay, Rosa, I hear your little tone here. When are we doing the science part? The science is right after math, okay? We're going in a rotation. Oh my God, we're having so much fun here. I didn't realize we were almost at 7 o'clock, y'all. Okay, so for those of you who answered, the majority of you said D, and that's the correct answer. The 2009 biography of Abraham Lincoln, A Life by Michael Burlingame is... Rosa, it's okay. I was just making a little joke. It's okay. D is correct. It seems like the majority of you got that, so I don't think we need to spend any time on it. If you're not clear on why the answer is D, I know most of us are antsy to get to the math question here. You can always just send us a message, and I will personally explain this question to you, okay? Beautiful. All right. Everyone's favorite. We're doing conversions and word problems. You are absolutely positively going to see conversions and word problems on your TEAS exam. I'm telling you now, just go ahead and memorize your conversions. 2 posts ago over on our TikTok page, we actually put up a chart of the most common conversions that you need to know. So when this live is over, go over to our page and you can just take a screenshot of that. Conversions will not be provided to you. And a lot of people say, oh, well, it might be, or I heard my friend. This test is expensive. Don't go based off what your friend said. Is Brandon Kraft with you guys for math? Yeah, so Brandon Kraft did create all of our math video lessons. He's a good friend. We've been working with Brandon Kraft for several years. So yes. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And you guys are going to need to know your conversions anyways when you take your first med dosage class. So you might as well just get it out of the way, okay? So I see a lot of people talking about this question, but I don't see a lot of answers. I see 2 B's. Do we have any other question? Do we have any other answers? B. Okay, so you guys said that you were so nervous about this question, and yet you guys all got it right. The correct answer is, in fact, B, 6. Yeah, conversions, word problems, you really just, it's practice. It's practice, and a lot of it has to do with just not only practice, but memorizing it and just getting into the habit of doing them over and over. A lot of people simply get intimidated by the fact that it's a word problem and the time is ticking down. Teresa says, I memorized it. I took the practice test so much. You're so funny. Okay. So we have 5 minutes left. I have some people asking for me to explain it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few minutes here just to explain it. Okay. So the question is wanting us to figure out how many times will the patient receive fluid before the doctor checks on him. Okay, so you guys already know, I like to underline the number. So we've got, they receive 0.25 liters, okay, every 4 hours. And the doctor says to stop it after 1,500 milliliters. Okay, so the first thing here is we're going to have to convert these. And then the doctor will check on the patient. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to convert. So conversions are not provided to you, okay? So you guys need to know that 1 liter, okay, equals 1,000 milliliters, okay? I know that my writing is not good. Like I said, we just posted a conversion chart that you can take a screenshot of on our profile page, okay? So we know that 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, and the doctor has said to stop giving it to the patient once they reach 1,500 milliliters. Okay, so we need to find out how many times the patient will receive the fluid. So what we need to do is we can basically set up a proportion, right? So we can set up a proportion. So if 1 liter equals 1,000 mLs equals X, and then we've got 15. So the way that you would solve for this, if you've got a calculator, is 1, then you multiply across 1,500, divide that by 1,000, you get that 1.5 L is the same thing as 1,500 ml, okay? So that's the first part. Exactly. Teresa says, make them into fractions proportional. Exactly. Exactly. And then what you do from here is you just need to take 1.5 liter and you need to divide that into 0.25, okay? Because the nurse is administering it. She's administering 0.25 every 4 hours. So when you do 1.5 liters, divide that by 0.25, which is basically, we're going to call that their dose, all right? That is 6, okay? That is how many times the patient will receive fluids before the doctor checks on them. They're going to get 6.25 liter doses. All right. All right, guys. So it looks like we actually just have 1 minute left. We actually only got through half of our questions here. So if you guys want more, you're so welcome, Teresa. Thank you for being here and good luck for your TEAS. I know it's coming up for you soon. So if you guys want more practice, if you guys need more help with anything that you've seen here today or on any of the topics, remember you can access the T7 online course. You can use code TT30 at checkout at smartadditionacademy.com. A 1 month subscription to the online course is $35, and then you get a 30% discount, okay? So that is a rock solid deal. It includes 8 practice tests, the online course, and the mobile app. The online course includes everything that you need to study for reading, math, science, and English. All of our lessons have videos, we have flashcards, we have interactive practice test questions as you're following along on the lesson, and the mobile app is really great because you can just jump on in there. You can answer a few practice test questions when you're sitting on the toilet or you're doom scrolling or whatever you're doing. So we make studying for the TEAS super simple and really effective for those people on the go. And this is a very affordable solution, okay? All right, so even though we're winding down on time, I see a ton of people are throwing the answer A in the comments. You're welcome, Kiki. I'm proud of you. You did really well. You didn't start off so confident. Okay. So the answer is A, 18.62 pascals. And I will end the live as soon as I just finish going over. Yeah. You know what? I'm just being real, okay? I know what you guys do. All right? I'm human too. You got to be productive, okay? Studying for the TEAS is no joke. See, Christine said, me too. Okay, so we have answer choice A, 18.62 pascals. I don't see anyone asking me to explain that in the comments, so I'm going to take that as a sign that you guys know what you're doing and that you're clear on this on this question. So I appreciate you guys for joining me. I do see some people asking us when we go live. So I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. We typically don't go live on TikTok. We go live over on our YouTube channel, in our Facebook study group. We have a very big group over on Facebook, and we're very active there, and we're very active on YouTube. But we know all the cool kids are on TikTok, and so many people from the study group asked us to join TikTok and to start doing our lives here. So if you go ahead and you join our email list, you can join our email list by going to our website. We will notify you of our lives. But if you guys tell me in the comments that you really like these, then I can commit to doing these a few times a week. What is the name of the YouTube? It is Smart Addition Nursing. And our website is smartadditionacademy.com. And then you can get our online course for 30% off by using code TT30. You're welcome. Okay, so I saw one person asking us to explain that. So before we log off, I will honor that and I will solve this for you. Yes, please continue live teachings on TikTok. Indica, you're taking your test next week. You're not going to need our live teachings anymore on TikTok, because you're going to pass this test and you're going to move on with your life. You're going to forget all about the TEAS and move on to your program. All right. So I love that we did a conversion question from the math section, and now we have another one that's from the science section. So the science section is going to potentially ask you 1 or 2 problems like this. Okay, so if you see a word problem and you see a little bit of math on the science section, don't panic, because it's going to look like this. In most cases, they will actually give you the conversion because they're just trying to make it sound scarier, right? They're trying to stress you out. and confuse you, because you're going to be like, what is a kilopascal? I don't know. Why does this test hate me? Okay. They kind of like want to induce that stress in you. But all you need to do is take a breather and read the question, because it is giving you everything that you need to solve it. Okay. The TEAS is not going to give you a question that you can't answer. You just need to take the 2 seconds to reread it. So we know that 1 mmHg equals 0.133 kPa. Okay, so it's telling us the patient's blood pressure is 140 millimeters of mercury. Convert this pressure into kilopascals. So all we need to do here is we just need to multiply 140, right? 140 milliliters. And then we just need to multiply this by 0.133 kPa. Okay? And when you plug that into your calculator, what you're going to receive is 18.62. So this question reads really complicated. It looks really complicated. But because 1 equals 0.113, all you needed to do was just multiply it by the 140. And that's it. Easy peasy. All right, guys, so I had a lot of fun with you. Thank you guys so much for staying with me for a few extra minutes. If you want to keep learning from me and if you want to connect, head on over to smartadditionacademy.com. Join the online T7 program. You can get it for 30% off using TT30. That's going to give you 30% off. The online course is only $34.99. You get 8 practice tests. You get access to the mobile app. You get access to the study group, and you get access to everything that you need to study for all 4 sections of your test, and it's a pass guarantee. All of our practice test questions have videos just like this from better teachers than me, explaining to you everything in detail, okay? So thank you so much for joining us, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. Hopefully, TikTok will stay in effect. If it doesn't, make sure you go to our website, join our study group over on Facebook, or you can find us on YouTube. Smart Addition Nursing is our YouTube channel, okay? Our little logo looks like this. So you can find us on YouTube, and we'll be going live there. Thank you, Taffy. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jen. Have a good night, guys. Bye.